Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Interior Minister says Pakistan has taken effective measures against money laundering and terror financing. Pakistan Navy's operational exercise Ribat 2018 began in Karachi today. Indian forces have again resorted to unprovoked mortar shelling in Nakyal sector at the line of control, martyring one civilian. Amnesty International has again urged India to ensure a thorough, impartial and effective investigation into Konan Poshpura mass rape incident in Kashmir. Russia has called upon the United States and North Korea to hold direct talks to resolve their differences. In Syria, 21 civilians were killed in fresh airstrikes by the government forces on eastern Ghouta today. And now the news in detail. Interior Minister Ehsan Iqbal says Pakistan has taken effective measures against money laundering and terror financing when compared with many other countries. Talking to the media in Lahore today, he said over the last 4 years, we have also registered great successes in the war on terror and we are going ahead with our anti-terrorist steps. He said our enemy is threatening of surgical strikes and also hatching conspiracies. He said it is time that we get united to foil its conspiracies. Earlier, speaking at a workshop, the Interior Minister said the youth have a critical role in economic development of the country. He said the future of Pakistan is connected with the youth and we have to prepare them as per the future requirements. He said development of youth is basic purpose of the incumbent government. Ehsan Iqbal said we are empowering our youth to ensure their contribution in the process of progress and prosperity. He said Pakistan is among the countries where youth is in majority. President Mamnoon Hussain says human resources could not be developed without quality education. Chairing a meeting of Zindagi Trust in Karachi today, he urged the private sector and philanthropists to come forward and supplement the government's efforts in promoting education. The president said human resource development is possible by education only. He said the tradition of establishing and running educational institutions by industrialists was badly affected by the policy of nationalization of the educational institutions in the past. He said nationalization policy harmed education sector and industrialists stopped to establish educational institutions. The president said it is the established fact that stable economy can lay the foundation of better politics. He said father of the nation Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's vision behind two-nation theory was to stabilize Muslims of the subcontinent as they were being exploited economically under the Hindu majority. Indian troops have again carried out mortar shelling at Nakyal sector of the line of control, targeting civilian population in 30 Nar village. According to ISPR, an innocent citizen embraced martyrdom and 3 other civilians got injured in the shelling. The injured have been shifted to THQ Nakyal. Pakistan Army targeted the Indian post, which initiated fire. Pakistan Navy's operational exercise Ribat 2018 commenced in Karachi today. According to the spokesman of Pakistan Navy, Vice Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Kaleem Shaukat, was chief guest at the inaugural session of the exercise. Exercises of seawater strategy to meet multi-dimensional threats are part of Ribat 2018. Joint operation exercises of Pakistan Navy and Pakistan Air Force are also part of exercise Ribat 2018. Addressing the inaugural ceremony, Vice Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Kaleem Shaukat, said joint war exercises are necessary for training to safeguard motherland in accordance with modern war strategy. Air Officer Commanding Central Air Command, Pakistan Air Force Air Vice Marshal Amir Masood met Punjab Chief Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif in Lahore today. Speaking on the occasion, the Chief Minister said that Pakistan Air Force is equipped with professional capabilities and ranked among the best air forces. He said Pakistan Air Force created history for the defense of the geographical boundaries of the motherland. He said the whole nation is proud of our brave soldiers of the Air Force. A three-day art and cultural festival opened at the Pakistan National Council of the Arts in Islamabad today. Inaugurated by Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Mariam Aurangzeb, the National Artist Convention is being attended by prominent figures from the arts and entertainment industry. Addressing the opening ceremony, the Minister of State said that the convention is aimed at seeking input to empower the artists community. She said as armed forces are the defenders of countries' geographical borders, the artists are the protectors of the country's perception. She regretted that film industry and the country's rich cultural heritage equally suffered from terrorism and vengeance of dictatorial regimes. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. International human rights watchdog Amnesty International has deplored that the victims of Kunan Poshpura mass rape in occupied Kashmir are still awaiting justice even after passage of 27 years of the Gauri incident. Indian troops had gang-raped around 100 women on the night of 23rd of February in 1991 during a siege and search operation in Kunan Poshpura area of Kupwara district. Programs Director at Amnesty International India chapter, Asmita Basu, in a statement issued in New Delhi, said the authorities must ensure a thorough, impartial and effective investigation into the incident. In Brussels, the Kashmir Council European Union has launched a 2-week campaign to draw the attention of the world towards Kunan Poshpura mass rape. In China, leaders of the Communist Party discussed a structural reform plan of the party and state institution at a meeting in Beijing today. The political bureau of the CPC Central Committee met to revise the draft and decided to submit it to the third plenary session of the Communist Party's Central Committee to be held between 26th and 28th of February for review. The leaders agreed that the reforms are imperative for strengthening the party's leadership, improving state governance, and making the system efficient. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Igor Morgulov has called for direct talks between Russia and the United States on North Korea. He said Moscow has sent an invitation for talks to U.S. Special Representative for North Korea Policy, Joseph Yun. Morgulov further said the date for talks is still under discussion. The Russian Deputy Foreign Minister also repeated calls for talks between Washington and Pyongyang. The U.S. administration and its key Asian allies are preparing to expand interceptions of ships suspected of violating sanctions on North Korea. Senior U.S. officials said in Washington that the plan can include deploying U.S. Coast Guard forces to stop and search vessels in Asia-Pacific waters. While suspect ships have been intercepted before, the emerging strategy would expand the scope of such operations but stop short of imposing a naval blockade on North Korea. Pyongyang has warned it would consider a blockade an act of war. In Syria, at least 21 civilians were killed in fresh strikes by the government forces on eastern Ghouta today. The Britain-based monitor of the war says the dead include 12 people killed in the main town of Douma. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the Syrian government launched bombardment on the suburbs of the capital Damascus last Sunday that has now killed nearly 500 civilians, including more than 100 children. Israeli forces raided a refugee camp in the West Bank city of Bethlehem today and detained a Palestinian. The resident said Israeli forces entered the Dehisa camp in southern Bethlehem, triggering clashes with local residents, after which the Israeli forces opened fire on protesters, injuring one of them. According to Palestinian figures, roughly 6,400 Palestinians are currently held in Israeli prisons, including dozens of women and 300 minors. And now cricket. In today's first match of Pakistan Super League in Dubai against Islamabad United, Peshawar Zalmi set a victory target of 177 overs a short while ago. Earlier, Islamabad United won the toss and elected to field. In the second match, Quetta Gladiators will take on Lahore Qalandars tonight. And finally, the weather report. Rain and thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills associated with gusty winds is expected at scattered places in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper Punjab, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Sargodha, Lahore and Faisalabad divisions, Islamabad, Fata and Kashmir, while at isolated places in northeast Balochistan, Quetta, Job, Kallat and Makran divisions, Sakkar, Sahiwal, Multan, Bahawalpur and DG Khan divisions and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 12 hours. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.